Hello, world of the internet, Simon Miller here with another one of my random vlogs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pimp out the rest of my vlogs before we even begin. There should be a playlist pop up on screen now in the card. When you're done with this, click that. You can go watch a load of my vlogs. Who wouldn't want that? You'll have yourself a lovely little time. Now, it's a bit of a different one today. If you're a boxing fan or a sports fan or you're, just into that kind of stuff, it is indeed Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury later on today as I'm recording this video. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. I want to be as honest as possible. I'm not the biggest boxing fan. I am a big boxing fan, but I'm a casual boxing fan. Like, if you started talking about, I don't know, two middleweights that exist in America and Mexico or something, I probably don't know who they are. I'm very much a star power name boxing fan, but I still like boxing. I'll still be watching it for years. Lennox Lewis is my favourite boxer ever. I watched all of his matches with Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe and everybody back in the day. And that's the cool thing about what we have at the moment, just on a random tangent, is that the heavyweight scene in boxing actually feels like it's important again. For years, it felt, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant, but there was just no stars. I mean, Klitschko was on top. He basically fought everyone that came. Both Klitschko's kind of did the same. Like, they just fought everyone that came, but there was no one that ever really felt like they were in their league, I guess. And that's what you want. You want at least three boxers that you all kind of think, well, maybe when you don't really know the result, much like pro wrestling, boxing is far more entertaining. And that's what I think we've got at the moment. And I think the first fight we're getting for a long time, when you start to raise your eyebrow, is Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Now, obviously, Anthony Joshua fits into that too. And that's what makes this, I think that's the cherry on top for all of this. Because I don't know if there's a rematch in the contract or not, but either way, you have to imagine whoever gets through this in the best possible position then sets themselves up to go and take on Anthony Joshua. That's another huge fight we can get excited about. So yeah, it's all about Joshua, Fury, and Wilder. The first step of that is tonight, 1st of December, in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where I think Survivor Series was, just for the wrestling fans out there. No need to tell you that information, but I have. And I'll start on a bit of a personal level, just because I like to mention these things. I like these vlogs to be as honest as possible. From a personal point of view, not the biggest fan of Tyson Fury because of some of the stuff he said in the past. He may have apologized for those comments. He may have clarified himself. I don't know. But I know about the comments, and that just rubs me the wrong way morally. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the sport. Just makes me feel a bit better to throw that out there, like I would do about anyone who had some controversy around them. However, talking about him as a boxer, he is the most awkward and strange and just, bizarre fighter I think I've personally ever seen. I'm sure if you're more into the sport, you probably know more than I. But it's all the little things you hear about him. Everything he's been through is incredible. Like his battle with mental health and to put on 8 stone and then lose it. No two ways about it. It is inspirational. This vlog, there's loads of these vlogs that we do that are all about mental health, anxiety, depression. He must have gone through all of that. And yeah, to come out the other side and go back to a sport that he loves, which is also, very high intensity and probably does, some crazy stuff to your brain. It is inspirational and it is incredible. And also, when you talk about his fighting style, it's the things that you hear about him, right? Like, he's not really a knockout puncher. I'm sure, given his size, like he's 6'9", and I think he weighed in just over 18 stone yesterday. So he can knock you out. I think sometimes people, because kind of the story of this fight, I'm going to go a bit ranty here, but the story of this fight is, Wilder is the puncher and Tyson Fury is the boxer. Well, a boxer can still knock you out, so I don't think we should overly worry about that. But yeah, the most interesting things are what people say about him. Like, for example, he can just change to southpaw so effortlessly and so easily, the opponent doesn't even realize that he's done it. Now, that could be hyperbole, that could be his trainers bigging him up, but I've heard it a lot. I've heard it from a few people. So he's an awkward fighter, and he's an interesting fighter, and that's why he's always in with a shot, even after everything he's been through. I know there's a lot of, talk, like he only had 2 warm-up fights. I think his last one was against Pinata. Is that his name? I think it was his name a few months ago. And everybody was like, this is too soon. You shouldn't be doing this. You need to get a few more tomato cans, as they say. And he hasn't decided to do that. He saw the opportunity. I presume, he saw an opportunity to make money and get back, right at the top of the scene, which is what he's done. And he has taken on Deontay Wilder. I can't remember his record now. 40-0? I think it's high. And I think it's something like 42-0, something like that. And 39 have been knockouts. Hardest puncher in heavyweight boxing. One of the hardest punchers in the world. If you only have a passing interest in boxing, just go on YouTube and type in Deontay Wilder knockouts. I mean, my word. His right... Well, it's 2 things. One, his right hand is ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. But also, it's the angles and the direction. He's kind of weird and awkward as well, because he doesn't really throw punches like most boxers do, or at least what you'd expect them to do. And again, I'm talking about it from a man that sits on a couch. So if you do box, you're probably like, Simon, what are you talking about? But for me, when I see him, and I haven't seen that many of his fights, obviously, that's another big thing about this, is a few people say, well, this is finally where Deontay Wilder is in the spotlight because everybody else he's fought hasn't really raised his name. This is a big pay-per-view fight, big boxing heavyweight match. It should do that. But when you do, I have watched as much as I can leading up to this because I get quite excited. And yeah, he's just, again, unorthodox. That, if someone said, Simon, what's the hashtag for this fight? I mean, Wilder Fury would be better. That's going to get more people talking about it. But I would also say unorthodox. And that's why it's really hard. That's why it's really hard to call. Again, I understand that I'm a British dude. If somebody said to me, this is what this whole video is about, I would rather Wilder won. And I think I say that, maybe there's a little bit of bias in there from the stuff that I talked about earlier, but I also just really want to see the Anthony Joshua Wilder fight. And I think I'll enjoy Tyson Fury and Joshua. They'll fight eventually either way. But I think something will be taken away if Wilder goes into his fight with Joshua, and I imagine that happens eventually too, with a loss on his record. I'd much rather two undefeated dudes. Again, I don't know why people keep coming with guns in my head. If I had to write a list right now, I'd say Anthony Joshua's the best. I'd put Deontay Wilder 2, and I'd probably put Tyson Fury 3. And that's nothing against anybody else in there, like Dillian White or anything like that. He's good too, but I think he's the level above, level below those three. So I'm going to pick Wilder as well. It's a predictions video. That's what it's all about. I just think, again, I'm taking a lot of my thoughts here from experts, but that's what you do when you're a fan, right? You read and you take the bits that make sense to you. And my thoughts are that because Tyson Fury was out the game for 2 years, however long, because he had that crazy weight loss, and again, more power to the man. It's amazing. Being in fitness shape, and I know this from, being a wrestler, being in fitness shape is not the same as being in sport shape. And that's from a mental aspect point of view. I think you have to build that up as well. So I think that may be what gets him. I think he'll probably get knocked out, Tyson Fury. If it does go all 12 rounds, then I believe Tyson Fury will win because he is the better boxer and it is difficult to fight again. He's very good at scoring points. I don't think that's Deontay Wilder's skill. In fact, if you go back and watch a lot of Deontay Wilder's fights, and you watch the highlights again, you'll see that he has been in trouble in the past, but he always finds a way to knock him out. Hence why his knockout ratio is so high. That's what he does. He's that kind of fighter. So he is exciting. He is explosive. And that usually, results in a pretty good match. But yeah, I think, I'll go Tyson. I don't know what round or anything like that, but I think Tyson Fury will get knocked out. I just think Wilder hits too hard. I think he's in better ring shape. That's just my gut. I could be absolutely wrong. I think it's one of those fights that, no matter who wins or loses, I think we, the fans, will have a good time. And also, it does set up a Joshua fight down the line. And, even if Wilder does lose, I'm still to enjoy that when they do it, and I'd still enjoy Fury and Joshua go out as well. Who knows? Maybe Fury wins this and then comes back to the UK, fights Anthony Joshua and beats him as well. You just never know. That's why boxing is so exciting, because everyone's got a puncher's chance, as they say. But yeah, it is airing tonight. If you're going to watch it, there's a comment box below. Let me know who you think's going to win. I imagine a lot of it's going to be, if you're American, you want Deontay Wilder to win. If you're English, you want Tyson Fury to win. I mean, I've just bucked that trend because I both want and I think Deontay Wilder will win. Also, I like the bronze bomber thing as well. Actually, I should say this as well because I'm being unfair. Deontay Wilder has also said things that he shouldn't have said in promotions for fights. Sometimes we go too far with this, much as when Mike Tyson said he was going to eat Lennox Lewis's children. I mean, what on earth? But I do like his bronze bomber gimmick. Like, it's well, I like wrestling, right? So I like gimmicks and I like things over the top. And talking about promos, both these guys have been cutting pretty good promos on each other, which obviously just helps promote a fight. And they had, a big push and shove in the Q&A or the press conference, and they had the weigh-in. I didn't realize this as well, because again, it's not, Deontay Wilder isn't really someone I've sat down and studied a lot. He weighed in at 212 pounds yesterday. I was like, 212 pounds? That's like 15.2 stone. I think Joshua usually weighs in about 17.5. Obviously, Tyson Fury's over 18. But I went back and looked, and actually, for his last fight in June, Wilder was only 214 pounds. So it certainly seems like this is his weight. He's clearly going for speed. He obviously trusts the power in his right hand regardless of how much he weighs, which makes sense. It's ridiculous. So he's probably going to try and outwork and just outspeed, outpace Tyson Fury. And if he does that, maybe Fury does get tired, and as soon as that happens, there's that right hand, and down he goes. But again, I think it all depends how sharp Tyson Fury's brain is from a boxing standpoint, not everything else. Because he's got to get used to these bizarre shots coming in from all over the place, and knowing, if I do get hit with that right hand, it certainly seems likely, that's it, I'm down, KO. and we go home. So there we go. I mean, this is the best thing about doing this vlog series. I can just do stuff like this. Never had the opportunity to talk about boxing before. I really like it. Again, not a statistician when it comes to it. Don't have loads of information. I just like what I like, and I like talking about it. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know who's going to win, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and hopefully we'll have some time next week to sit again and review the fight and try and predict what's going to happen next. But thanks as always for joining me. All of this is supported by patreon.com/Simon316. There's a link below if you want to go and give me $1. That's how I support myself to do personal projects such as this. I'll see you soon. Enjoy the boxing.